Hard work is not about being the strongest. It's about being the one who doesn't stop when it gets tough. Force yourself to work hard when it's hardest, because that's when growth happens. How many times have you found yourself exhausted, overwhelmed, or just completely drained, yet still knowing you need to keep going? How many times have you thought, I can't do this today, or I need a break, when the pressure starts to build? We all experience moments when we feel like quitting. But here's the truth. The most successful people aren't the ones who never get tired. They're the ones who find a way to keep going, even when they're exhausted. In this video, we'll talk about how to push through that mental wall, how to force yourself to work hard when everything inside you is screaming to take a break. It's not about ignoring how you feel or pretending you're not tired. It's about making the decision to keep moving forward, no matter how tough things get. What would happen if you could tap into that ability to keep going, no matter how exhausted you feel? What could you achieve if you learned to silence the excuses and keep working, even when every part of you wants to quit? Stay with me and I'll show you exactly how to make that happen. Let's dive in. Number 1. Force yourself to work, even when you feel exhausted. If you only work when you feel good, you will never achieve anything great. The difference between success and failure is not intelligence or talent. It is the ability to take action when you don't feel like it. It is the ability to push yourself when your body and mind are telling you to stop. This is the kind of discipline that separates those who win from those who quit. Most people allow exhaustion to control them. They let their tiredness dictate their actions. They convince themselves that resting now will help them work harder later. But the truth is, every time you choose to stop because you feel tired, you are strengthening a habit of quitting. You are training yourself to give up when things get difficult. That is a dangerous pattern, because life will not always be easy. There will be moments when everything inside you wants to take a break, but the situation demands that you keep going. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who always feel good. They are the ones who learn to work through fatigue. They have conditioned their minds to ignore that voice that says, I'll do it tomorrow. They understand that if they stop every time they feel tired, they will never reach their goals. You must become the kind of person who does not negotiate with exhaustion. The kind of person who keeps moving forward even when everything inside them says to stop. You have to develop the mindset that says, I work when I feel good, and I work when I feel bad. I show up no matter what. Think about the moments in your life when you felt exhausted but kept going. Maybe it was during a hard workout, a long day at work, or a difficult personal challenge. You felt like stopping, but you didn't. And in the end, you proved to yourself that you were capable of more than you thought. That feeling of pushing past your limits is powerful. It builds confidence. It creates an unshakable belief that you can handle anything. When you allow exhaustion to stop you, you are not just losing time, you are losing an opportunity to become stronger. Every time you fight through fatigue, you are building mental toughness. You are proving to yourself that you are in control. Not your emotions, not your body, not your excuse. Some people believe they need to wait until they feel better to work hard. They think if they just rest a little more, they will suddenly have the motivation to take action. But this is a lie. Action creates energy. The moment you start working, your body and mind adjust. You begin to feel stronger, simply because you are moving forward. But if you wait until you feel ready, you will spend your whole life waiting. Hard work is not about pushing yourself until you collapse. It is about training yourself to keep going, even when it is difficult. There will be days when you are exhausted, but the work still needs to be done. Your goals do not pause because you are tired. Your future does not wait for you to feel perfect. Most people quit when they are tired. That is why most people stay stuck. That is why most people never reach their dreams. They give up too soon. They stop when they still have more to give. And because of that, they never discover how strong they really are. But you are different. You are not here to be average. You are here to push yourself beyond what you think is possible. You are here to break through limitations. And that means working when you don't feel like it. That means taking action when your mind is begging you to stop. That means proving to yourself that you are stronger than your exhaustion. Right now, you have a choice. You can listen to that voice that tells you to take a break, or you can push forward and get the job done. You can give in to tiredness, or you can take control of your future. If you want to separate yourself from the rest, you must be willing to do what others refuse to do. You must be willing to work when others quit. You must be willing to push through exhaustion, because that is what it takes to win. Success does not belong to the people who do what is easy. It belongs to those who are willing to fight through every challenge, every obstacle, and every moment of exhaustion. It belongs to those who refuse to quit, no matter how they feel. So when you feel tired, remember this: your exhaustion is not a reason to stop. It is a reason to keep going. Because every time you force yourself to work when you are exhausted, you are getting closer to your dreams. You are building the discipline that will take you further than motivation ever could. You are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. This is how you win. This is how you rise above. This is how you take control of your destiny. Keep going. Keep working. Keep pushing forward. Your future depends on it. Number 2, crush your laziness and push through every mental barrier. Laziness is the enemy of success. It steals your time, weakens your discipline, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of inaction. The people who win in life are not the ones who feel the most motivated. They are the ones who push themselves even when they don't want to. They are the ones who refuse to let laziness control their future. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you must crush your laziness. You must learn to take action when your mind tells you to stop. The truth is, laziness is not a physical problem. It is not about being tired. It is a mental battle. Your mind wants comfort. It wants the easy way out. It wants to avoid struggle. But you cannot let that voice dictate your life. Success is built on small daily actions. It is not about doing something great once in a while. It is about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. And the first step to crushing laziness is simple. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting until you feel ready, because that moment will never come. The only way to break free from laziness is to take action. Now, when you feel that urge to sit back and do nothing, recognize it for what it is: a test. Your mind is testing you to see if you are serious about your goals. Most people fail this test. They give in to laziness. They tell themselves, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next year. Before they know it, they have wasted years making excuses instead of making progress. You cannot afford to live like that. You have dreams to chase. You have goals to accomplish. And that means you must push through every mental barrier that tries to hold you back. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they need to feel motivated before they start working. This is not true. Action comes first. Motivation follows. The moment you take that first step, your energy increases. Your focus sharpens. Your momentum builds. But if you sit around waiting to feel ready, you will never move forward. The best way to destroy laziness is to stop negotiating with yourself. The moment you start thinking, "Should I do this now or later?" you have already lost. The answer should always be now. Successful people do not debate whether they should work. They just do it. They don't sit around analyzing their emotions. They take action whether they feel like it or not. Another way to push through laziness is to make a commitment to yourself. Decide right now that from this day forward, you will not allow laziness to control you. You will not allow it to steal your time. You will not allow it to rob you of your potential. Because every time you choose laziness, you are choosing failure. And every time you take action, you are choosing success. You must also learn to control your environment. Your surroundings can either push you forward or pull you back. If you spend your time around lazy people, you will become lazy. If you fill your days with distractions, you will never get anything done. But if you surround yourself with driven individuals, if you eliminate distractions, if you create an environment that forces you to focus, you will find it much easier to take action. Understand this: your mind will always try to resist effort. It will always look for ways to avoid discomfort. But every time you push through that resistance, you become stronger. Every time you take action despite how you feel, you gain more control over your mind. And that control is what will separate you from the average person. Most people quit the moment things get hard. They start a new goal, but as soon as they face a challenge, they stop. They let laziness win. But that is not going to be your story. You are going to break through that mental resistance. You are going to train yourself to take action even when it feels uncomfortable. You are going to push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. Because here's the truth: nothing in life is going to be handed to you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. If you want something, you must go after it with everything you have. You must force yourself to show up every day. No matter how you feel, you must refuse to let laziness dictate your future. Every time you choose action over laziness, you are shaping the person you are becoming. You are creating a version of yourself that is disciplined, focused, and unstoppable. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. You will reach a point where taking action is no longer a struggle. It becomes who you are. It becomes automatic. That is the goal: to rewire your mind so that hard work is your default setting. To build a mindset that rejects laziness and embraces discipline. To become the kind of person who doesn't need motivation to get things done. This is your moment. Right now, you have a choice. You can stay where you are, making excuses, letting laziness win, or you can take control. You can stand up and do the work. You can push through every mental barrier and prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. Because at the end of the day, success belongs to those who take action. It belongs to those who refuse to settle. It belongs to those who push through laziness and do the work, no matter what. Number 3, discipline your mind and take action without hesitation. Discipline is the foundation of all success. Without it, nothing great can be achieved. If you want to reach your full potential, you must train your mind to act without hesitation. You must eliminate the habit of overthinking, questioning, or delaying. Every second you hesitate, you are allowing doubt and weakness to creep in. And every time you give in to hesitation, you are reinforcing a pattern of inaction. Success is not about talent, luck, or intelligence. It is about the ability to take action. The people who accomplish the most in life are not necessarily the smartest or the most skilled. They are the ones who have trained themselves to move forward without waiting for the perfect moment. They do not wait until they feel motivated. They do not wait for conditions to be just right. They decide and they act. If you want to change your life, you must discipline your mind. You must train yourself to move the moment you decide. No hesitation. No second guessing. No waiting for the right time. The right time is always now, because every time you hesitate, you are giving yourself an opportunity to make excuses. And excuses are what separate successful people from those who never reach their goals. Think about the times you wanted to do something important, but hesitated. Maybe you wanted to start a new habit, but you kept delaying. Maybe you had a great idea, but you let fear stop you. Maybe you knew you should have taken action, but you allowed doubt to hold you back. What happened? Nothing. That is the danger of hesitation. It keeps you stuck in the same place while time passes you by. You must break this pattern. You must rewire your mind to act immediately. And the first step is to recognize hesitation as the enemy. Whenever you catch yourself delaying, remind yourself that hesitation leads to regret. The more you hesitate, the harder it becomes to take action. The longer you wait, the weaker your discipline becomes. But the moment you take action, you build momentum. And that momentum is what leads to long-term success. One of the most powerful ways to discipline your mind is to eliminate the habit of negotiation. The moment you start debating with yourself, you lose. You know what you need to do, so just do it. Stop analyzing. Stop overthinking. Stop looking for reasons to wait. When your alarm goes off in the morning, get up without thinking. When it's time to work, Start without hesitation. When you set a goal, take the first step immediately. Your mind will always look for ways to avoid effort. It will always try to find an easier way. But you must train yourself to override those thoughts. You must teach yourself that action is the default, not hesitation. Another powerful way to build discipline is to create non-negotiable standards for yourself. Decide in advance what you will do, and then stick to it, no matter what. If you say you will exercise every morning, do it. If you commit to working on your goals daily, follow through. Do not wait to feel like it. Do not allow yourself to make excuses. If you wait until you feel motivated, you will never get anything done. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. It is a habit. It is a decision you make every single day, no matter how you feel. And the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Taking action without hesitation also means overcoming fear. Many people hesitate because they are afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of discomfort. But fear only grows stronger when you let it control you. The only way to defeat fear is to act despite it. The moment you take action, fear loses its power. You must also remove distractions from your life. Every time you get distracted, you are training your brain to delay action. The more time you spend scrolling on your phone, watching meaningless content, or engaging in unproductive activities, the weaker your discipline becomes. Take control of your environment. Set up your surroundings in a way that forces you to focus. The key to taking action without hesitation is to build small habits that reinforce discipline. Start by making small commitments and following through. Wake up at the time you set. Complete the tasks you planned. Keep the promises you make to yourself. When you train yourself to follow through on small actions, you build the discipline to take massive action in the future. Most people wait for the perfect time to start. But the truth is, there is never a perfect time. There will always be challenges. There will always be obstacles. If you wait until everything is ideal, you will never begin. The only way to succeed is to start now, with what you have, wherever you are. Your mind will resist at first. It will try to convince you to wait. But the more you push through, the easier it becomes. Taking action without hesitation is a skill that can be developed. And the more you practice it, the more natural it will feel. You must also develop a sense of urgency. People who achieve great things do not move slowly. They do not waste time. They act with speed and precision. They understand that every moment they hesitate is a moment they could have used to move forward. If you want to get ahead in life, you must adopt this same mindset. You must act quickly, decisively, and with purpose. Every time you hesitate, you are reinforcing a habit of delay. But every time you take action immediately, you are strengthening a habit of discipline. And discipline is what leads to success. No one is going to force you to act. No one is going to push you to work hard. You must be the one to discipline yourself. You must be the one to take action. Because at the end of the day, your results are determined by your actions, not your intentions. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Decide right now that you will train your mind to act immediately. Decide that you will be the kind of person who takes action without hesitation. Decide that you will discipline yourself to do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Number 4, destroy all distractions and lock in on your goals. The pursuit of your goals is the most important task in your life. Everything else is secondary. The challenge we all face is the constant barrage of distractions that pull us away from what truly matters. Whether it's social media, phone notifications, gossip, unnecessary commitments, or even our own doubts and fears, distractions are everywhere, and if you don't take control over them, they will take control over you. Distractions are like silent assassins. They don't shout, they don't announce themselves. They simply creep in, one little thing at a time. First, it's a small distraction here, then a little one there. And before you know it, you've lost hours, days, and maybe even years of your life. But here's the truth. Every moment you waste on distractions is a moment that could have been spent moving closer to your goals. The key to success is not about having big plans. It's about consistently locking in on your goals and relentlessly pursuing them. It's about focus. It's about removing anything and everything that stands in the way of that focus. The people who make the biggest impact in life are the ones who can block out the noise, tune out the distractions, and put all their energy into what matters most. Let's be clear, distractions are not just external things like TV, social media, or unnecessary meetings. They are also internal. The distractions in your mind, the doubts, the worries, and the fears that tell you you're not good enough, or that you can't do it. These internal distractions are just as harmful, if not more, than external ones. They'll stop you just as quickly. The moment you let your mind wander into doubt, you lose momentum. You lose focus. To destroy distractions, you first need to become aware of what they are and how they sneak into your day. These distractions come in many forms, but one of the most dangerous is the illusion of busyness. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're moving forward. You may be answering emails, scrolling through your phone, attending unnecessary meetings, or talking about your plans. But all that is just noise if it doesn't directly contribute to your goals. You need to train yourself to recognize when you're being pulled off track, when your focus shifts from what matters most to things that are simply filling time. You need to correct yourself. You need to set firm boundaries between the essential and the non-essential, between what's important and what's just filling the space. Every moment you spend on something irrelevant is a moment you can never get back. Now here's a question for you. How serious are you about your goals? Are they just things you talk about? Are they just dreams that sound nice? Or are they your mission? If they are your mission, you must treat them as such. A mission requires focus. A mission requires discipline. A mission requires your full attention. The first step to locking in on your goals is to eliminate everything that doesn't help you achieve them. Look at your daily life. What are you doing that doesn't bring you closer to your objectives? Are you spending time on activities that drain your energy but provide no real benefit? Are you surrounded by people who discourage you or distract you from your mission? Are you engaged in habits that sabotage your focus? Take action right now. Get rid of distractions. You don't need them. You don't need people who distract you or hold you back. You don't need activities that waste your time. The more you clear away the clutter, the more space you create for your goals. The more you focus, the more energy you can pour into what matters. But eliminating distractions isn't just about getting rid of things. It's about creating systems that keep you on track. For instance, you can start by scheduling your time. If you don't plan your day will plan you. You will end up reacting to everything instead of proactively going after your goals. Set specific, actionable tasks for the day, break them down into manageable chunks, and focus only on one thing at a time. Remove everything else from your environment. If your phone distracts you, put it away. If your workspace is cluttered, clean it up. Then create a work environment that minimizes distractions. Your surroundings should encourage focus, not distract you. A clean, organized space where you can focus without interruption is a powerful tool for success. The people you work with should support your goals, not hinder them. Create an environment that fosters productivity, an environment that makes it easy to lock in on your mission. And let's talk about technology. Technology, while incredibly powerful, is one of the biggest distractions in today's world. Social media is designed to grab your attention and keep it. Emails, texts, and notifications constantly pull you away from your focus. It's like having 1,000 voices shouting at you at once. And when you're constantly reacting to these distractions, You can't be in control of your life. Your time is no longer yours. You have to take control over your technology. Set boundaries. Turn off notifications. Schedule specific times to check your email or social media. Don't allow your phone to be the boss of you. You are in charge of your time, and you must protect. If you don't, you will find yourself endlessly distracted, chasing things that don't move you forward. One of the most effective ways to destroy distractions is to create a mindset of single tasking. Multitasking may feel productive, but it isn't. When you try to do multiple things at once, you're spreading yourself thin, and you're giving your attention to too many things at once. When you focus on one thing at a time, you pour all your energy into that task, and it gets done faster and better. If you want to be successful, stop trying to juggle everything at once. Focus on what matters. Focus on the one thing that brings you closer to your goal. The key to locking in on your goals is repetition. The more you practice focusing, the easier it becomes. Focus is like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. The more consistently you eliminate distractions and lock in on your goals, the easier it becomes to stay on track. You'll start to feel the momentum. You'll start to feel the satisfaction of moving forward. And that feeling will drive you even further. And here's something else to consider. Distractions often hide behind excuses. You may think that you're distracted by something else, but what's really happening is that you're avoiding something important. Distractions provide a convenient way to delay what you know you need to do. You know what's important, but the fear of failure, of rejection, or of uncertainty holds you back. You use distractions to avoid confronting those fears, but you must realize that facing those fears is the only way to move forward. When you let distractions rule your life, you're avoiding growth. You're avoiding the very thing that will help you achieve your dreams. Remember, distractions are the enemies of progress. They are the things that prevent you from moving forward. They are the things that pull you away from your mission. And if you allow them to take control of your life, they will rob you of your future. To succeed, you must build the habit of locking in on your goals. You must destroy distractions, one by one. You must take control of your time and your environment. You must create a work routine that aligns with your mission. You must focus on what truly matters and ignore everything else. The moment you do this, you'll find that everything changes. The noise will fade away. The distractions will lose their power over you, and you will begin to see progress. You will feel more confident, more energized, and more driven. And that momentum will carry you to your goals faster than you ever thought possible. Number 5. Reject every excuse and do what needs to be done. Excuses are the quiet killers of success. They seem harmless at first, don't they? A small excuse here, a little excuse there. But over time, they add up. And before you know it, they've taken control of your life. If you want to achieve your goals, if you want to experience true success, you have to learn how to reject every excuse, no matter how convincing it might sound at the time. Let's get one thing straight. Excuses are lies. They are rationalizations we create in our minds to make us feel better about not doing the work. But deep down, we know the truth. We know that we're capable of more. We know that we're capable of pushing through whatever obstacle is in front of us. The problem is that we let our excuses talk us out of taking action. The first step to rejecting excuses is to realize that they come from within. No one can make you make excuses. You're the one who gives them power. It's easy to blame external factors for why we didn't get something done. I didn't have enough time. The circumstances weren't right. I wasn't feeling good enough. But the truth is, if it mattered enough to you, you would have found a way. Stop letting your mind control you. Start controlling your mind. This starts with rejecting every excuse that comes your way. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, you are giving up on your potential. Every time you let fear, doubt, or discomfort keep you from taking action, you are telling yourself that you're not capable. But that's a lie. You are capable. You are stronger than you think. And every excuse you make only weakens that belief. Let's be honest here. We've all been there. We've all made excuses at some point. We've all said, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start next week, or I'm too tired right now. But here's the problem with that mindset. Tomorrow never comes. And before you know it, you've wasted months or even years waiting for the perfect time to take action. And the truth is, the perfect time never comes. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges. There will always be something standing in your way. If you keep waiting for everything to be just right, you'll never you must stop waiting for the right time and start taking action now. If you want to change your life, if you want to make progress, you have to make the decision today. Stop waiting for the stars to align or for the conditions to be perfect. Perfection is a myth. You will never have everything figured out. You will never have all the answers. But you can take the first step now. And that's what matters. You can take action right now, in the midst of uncertainty and discomfort. That's how progress is made. It's easy to make excuses when things aren't going well. When you're facing challenges, it's tempting to throw in the towel and tell yourself, it's just too hard. But you need to ask yourself this: how badly do you want your success? How badly do you want to achieve your goal? If you really want it, you will push through the discomfort. You will reject the excuses. You will do what needs to be done, no matter how hard it may seem in the moment. You've got to understand that success doesn't come easy. It doesn't come to the people who are looking for shortcuts, or the ones who wait for perfect conditions. It comes to the people who push through adversity. It comes to the people who are willing to work harder, work smarter, and keep going when others give up. It comes to the people who reject excuses and embrace the grind. The next time you feel yourself making an excuse, stop, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is the real reason I'm not taking action? Is it because I'm afraid? Is it because I'm unsure of what's next? Is it because I'm feeling lazy? When you start getting real with yourself, you'll realize that most of the time, the excuse isn't valid. It's just a story you've told yourself to justify inaction. So here's what I want you to do. When an excuse tries to creep into your mind, reject it. Do the opposite of what your mind tells you to do. If you don't feel like working out, get up and do it anyway. If you don't feel like making that sales call, pick up the phone anyway. If you're feeling tired, push through it. The more you reject your excuses, the stronger your resolve becomes. The more you take action, the less control those excuses have over you. Let's also address another big issue: perfectionism. Perfectionism is just another excuse. It's the excuse we use when we feel like we need everything to be flawless before we take any action. But perfectionism is paralyzing. It keeps you stuck in the planning phase, thinking that everything needs to be perfect before you can take the first step. The truth is, you don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to get started. You just need to take one step in the right direction. And as you take more steps, things will begin to fall into place. Perfection is a moving target, and by the time you think you've reached it, it will already have changed. Stop using perfectionism as an excuse for inaction. Instead, focus on progress. Focus on doing the work. Focus on moving forward, even if it's imperfect. Because here's the thing: you can't learn if you don't start. You can't improve if you don't practice. You can't succeed if you don't take the first step, even if it's messy. The people who achieve the most are the ones who are willing to start, fail, learn, and keep going. When you reject excuses, you are taking control of your destiny. You are telling yourself that you are in charge of your life, and nothing will stand in your way. You are telling yourself that your goals matter more than the temporary discomfort of doing the hard work. You are telling yourself that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, as long as you are willing to do what needs to be done. Number 6. Push past your limits and work harder than ever. Push past your limits and work harder than ever. This is where the magic happens. This is the space where growth occurs, where you discover just how capable you truly are. But it's also the point where most people stop, right before they break through, right before they achieve something extraordinary. They hit their limits and they pull back. They get uncomfortable and they decide it's too much, too hard, too overwhelming. But not you. You're going to push past your limits. You're going to show up when the going gets tough, when it feels like you can't go any further, because that's where success is waiting. Limits are only temporary barriers. They are made by your mind, by your perceptions, by what you've been conditioned to believe is possible. But the truth is, your limits are not fixed. You are not bound by them, unless you choose to be. Every time you push beyond what you think you can do, you expand your potential. You create a new standard for what's possible in your life. The key is to not stop at your first sign of resistance. Don't stop when things start to feel difficult. Don't stop when your body tells you that it's exhausted, when your mind tells you that it's time to rest. Your limits are simply what your body and mind tell you they are. But you are stronger than that. You are more resilient than that. And when you push beyond those limits, that's when you grow. That's when you become something greater than you were yesterday. Imagine if you had always stopped when you felt tired, or when you thought you couldn't go on. You'd never have achieved anything significant. You'd never have made it to the next level. It's only when you decide to keep going that you realize how much more you can do. Every time you push past your limits, you stretch your boundaries and unlock new levels of strength, both physically and mentally. There is a massive difference between working hard and working beyond your limits. Working hard is about showing up every day and putting in effort. But working beyond your limits is about doing what you didn't think was possible. It's about doing the things that scare you, things that make you uncomfortable, things that push you to become a better version of yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's about stretching yourself and going beyond what you believed you were capable of. This is the essence of growth. It doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens in the spaces where you feel uncertain, where you feel like you're pushing up against your own limits. It happens when you get back up, when you refuse to let fatigue or frustration stop you from moving forward. Growth is not about easing into something that's easy. It's about reaching for something greater and being willing to do what it takes to get there. You have to get comfortable with discomfort. You have to be willing to embrace the struggle, to face the challenge head on. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when you feel like you've given all you've got. But this is when you need to dig deeper. You need to understand that you have more in you than you realize. Your body can keep going even when your mind says it's time to quit. Your mind can push you further than you ever imagined, if you allow it. When you push past your limits, you become unstoppable. You show the world that nothing can stand in your way. You show yourself that you are stronger than you think. And the more you push, the more you realize that you can do things that once seemed impossible. Your limits no longer define you. You are the one who defines what you are capable of. But pushing past your limits doesn't happen by accident. It takes intention. It takes determination. It takes a mindset that says, I will not stop. I will not back down. You need to make the decision every single day to push harder than you did the day before. It's not about doing it once and thinking that's enough. It's about making this your new normal. It's about continuously raising the bar for yourself and then smashing through it. This is where true success is found. The winners aren't the ones who show up just when it's easy. They're the ones who keep going when it's hard. They're the ones who push themselves past their limits, day in and day out. They understand that success isn't given. It's earned through hard work, through discipline, through persistence. The truth is that you will never know your full potential until you push yourself beyond your limit. You will never know just how strong you are, just how capable you are, unless you are willing to test your boundaries. Every time you push past your limits, you discover something new about yourself. You learn more about what you're made of, about how much you can really take. And with each challenge you face, you build resilience. You build strength. You build confidence in yourself. And this is not just about physical strength or endurance. It's about mental strength. It's about building the mental toughness to keep going when everything inside you is telling you to stop. It's about developing the mindset that refuses to quit, no matter what. It's about training your mind to see the discomfort as an opportunity for growth, not as something to avoid. Let's be real here. Pushing past your limits is not easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But that's why it's so valuable. Because the people who push past their limits are the ones who stand out. They are the ones who achieve greatness. They are the ones who accomplish the things that others think are impossible. And when you keep pushing, something amazing happens. You stop feeling the limits, as you once did. You start to realize that what seemed impossible before is actually within reach. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to get stronger, to get better, to grow. The more you push yourself, the less those limits will hold you back. You will redefine what's possible for yourself. Every time you push past your limits, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. You prove that you're capable of handling challenges that you never thought you could face. You start to build a track record of pushing through, and that track record becomes your source of confidence. When you've done it once, twice, 3 times, you begin to believe that there's nothing you can't overcome. You start to operate from a place of strength, not weakness. So don't be afraid to push past your limits. Don't be afraid to do what others are unwilling to do. Don't be afraid to work harder than you've ever worked before. Because on the other side of that hard work, on the other side of that discomfort, is your best. It's your future self. The person you've always wanted to be. But you'll never get there unless you push beyond what you think is possible. Remember, your limits are just markers, not walls. They are just temporary measures of where you are right now. But you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be stuck. Every time you push beyond those limits, you rewrite the rules of what you are capable of. Every time you go a little further, work a little harder, you take a step closer to the greatness that's waiting for you. Number 7, fight your doubts and show up with full effort daily. Fighting your doubts and showing up with full effort every day is the cornerstone of success. It's one thing to have big dreams, to have a vision of what you want your life to look like. But the true test of your commitment to those dreams is whether or not you show up, whether you bring your full effort every single day, even when doubts creep in, even when things feel uncertain or difficult. Doubt is something that we all face. It's a natural part of the human experience. At some point, you will question whether you're on the right path, whether your hard work is paying off, whether you're even capable of achieving your goals. It's part of the process. But here's the thing, doubt is never the end of the road, unless you let it be. Doubt is not a sign to stop. It's simply a reminder that you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, that you're growing and evolving. Doubt only wins if you let it control you, if you allow it to stop you from taking action, from showing up with everything you've got. Every time you face doubt, you have a choice. You can either give in to it and stop trying, or you can use it as fuel to keep going, to show up even more determined. Your doubt doesn't define your potential. The fact that you're willing to fight through it and continue doing the work is what defines you. When you show up each day, and when you're filled with doubt, you're building resilience. You're proving to yourself that you can handle adversity. You're developing the mental toughness that separates those who succeed from those who don't. And over time, as you continue to show up day after day, that doubt will start to lose its power. It will start to fade away, replaced by the confidence that comes with consistent effort and commitment. The key is consistency. It's easy to show up for one day, maybe 2, when you feel motivated. But the real difference makers are the ones who show up every day, even when they don't feel like it, even when their energy is low, even when doubt tries to take root in their minds. Showing up every day is where true transformation happens. It's about pushing yourself to do the work, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Your emotions will fluctuate, but your actions should not. If you wait until you feel motivated to do the work, you'll never get anywhere. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades away. The simple truth is this: if you want to succeed, you have to show up every day with full effort, even when it's hard, even when your doubts are screaming at you to quit. You have to fight through them. You have to push forward. You have to believe that the work you're putting in today will pay off tomorrow, even if you can't see the results right away. It's that belief in the process, that commitment to showing up every day, that will eventually lead you to success. Think about it. The people who succeed, who reach the top, are the ones who have developed the habit of showing up and giving their best effort, day after day. They don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. They don't wait for the doubts to go away. They show up anyway, and that's what separates them from everyone else. They're not waiting for things to get easier. They're not waiting for the doubts to disappear. They're taking action despite the doubts, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty. And that's what makes all the difference. Showing up every day with full effort is also about being honest with yourself. It's about taking a hard look at your actions and your commitment. Are you really giving your all, or are you holding back? Are you doing just enough to get by, or are you truly giving everything you've got? The difference between success and failure often comes down to this: how much you're willing to give, how much effort you're willing to put in. And it's not just about physical effort. It's about mental and emotional effort too. It's about pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and being honest enough with yourself to know when you're holding back. It's also important to recognize that there will be setbacks. There will be days when things don't go as planned, when you don't feel your best, when you make mistakes or experience failure. And that's okay. Failure is a part of the journey, but the key is not to let it derail you. It's about getting back up, learning from the experience, and showing up again the next day, ready to give it your all, once more. When you fight through your doubts and show up every day with full effort, you're not just working towards your goals, you're also building character. You're building the kind of mindset that will help you overcome any challenge, any obstacle that comes your way. You're developing the kind of resilience that will carry you through the tough times and help you stay focused on your goals, no matter what. And this is something that cannot be bought. This is something that is earned through hard work, through persistence, through showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. Another aspect of showing up with full effort is learning to be self-motivated. No one else can do the work for you. No one else can push you to be your best. It has to come from within. It has to come from a place of deep belief in your goals and in your ability to achieve them. Self-motivation is about making the decision every day to give your best, even when it's hard, even when it feels like no one is watching, even when you don't see the results right away. It's about knowing that your effort matters, that the work you're doing is worth it, and that each day brings you one step closer to your goals. So what does it take to fight your doubts and show up with full effort every day? It takes commitment. It takes discipline. It takes a willingness to push through the hard days and keep going. It takes developing a mindset that refuses to let doubts and fear hold you back. It takes the understanding that success isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head on and continuing to push forward. And it takes the realization that your efforts, no matter how small they may seem, are adding up to something greater. Every step you take, every ounce of effort you give, is bringing you closer to your goal. Number 8. Eliminate weakness and train yourself to stay committed. Eliminating weakness and training yourself to stay committed is one of the most crucial aspects of long-term success. Commitment is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. You see, commitment is more than just a word. It's a choice. It's a decision you make every day. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles you face. And the first step in truly committing is to eliminate the weaknesses that hold you back. These weaknesses may not always be physical, but they can often be mental, emotional, or even habitual. They manifest in forms like procrastination, self-doubt, laziness, fear, and lack of focus. The truth is, every weakness you allow to exist in your life is a barrier between you and your potential. It's a stumbling block on the path to your success. Weakness can appear in many different forms, and it's essential to recognize them for what they are. Weakness might look like choosing comfort over growth. It may appear when you avoid tasks that challenge you, or when you make excuses for not putting in the effort. It could even show up as the simple act of procrastinating, putting off what you know needs to be done. Anytime you give in to temptation or convenience rather than doing the work required to reach your goals, you're allowing weakness to control you. And that, my friends, is something you simply cannot afford. To eliminate weakness, you first have to identify it. You need to be brutally honest with yourself. Where are you falling short? What habits do you have that are preventing you from moving forward? These may not be easy things to admit, but without that self-awareness, you'll never be able to grow. When you recognize your weaknesses, when you call them out for what they are, that's when you can begin the work of eliminating them. But don't be discouraged if it's hard to look at. The good news is, every weakness can be overcome. Every single one. But it's going to take discipline and a commitment to doing the work, even when it feels uncomfortable. One of the most common weaknesses I see in people is a lack of discipline. They start strong. They're excited about their goals. But as soon as things get tough, they back off. They lose focus. They give up. But let me tell you something. Discipline is the thing that will keep you going when motivation runs out. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Some days, you're going to feel motivated. And some days, you won't. But discipline is what kicks in when motivation fades. Discipline is the power to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And that is how you build momentum. Eliminating weakness also means breaking through the limiting beliefs that hold you back. We all have those thoughts that say, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or this is too hard. These beliefs are rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of not being good enough. But let me tell you something. Your fear is lying to you. Fear is not a reflection of your abilities. It's just a story your mind is telling you. And the only way to silence that story is to take action. Every time you push through fear, every time you choose to take action instead of letting fear control you, you're strengthening your commitment and eliminating weakness. You're showing yourself that you are capable. You are worthy. You are strong. This brings us to the importance of consistency. You cannot eliminate your weaknesses overnight, but you can make the decision to show up every single day, without fail, and put in the work. This is how you build strength. It's not about doing everything perfectly or making huge leaps. It's about small, consistent actions that add up over time. Every time you follow through on a commitment, every time you stay disciplined, you are building a stronger version of yourself. And with every step forward, your weaknesses begin to diminish, replaced by a new sense of strength and confidence. Commitment requires a strong mind, and training your mind is just as important as training your body. You have to condition yourself to stay focused, to keep going even when it feels like everything is working against you. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. It's easy to get distracted by outside influences, by the opinions of others, by the constant noise of life. But the key to eliminating weakness is to focus on what you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, your energy. Every time you choose to ignore the distractions, to silence the negativity, and to focus on your goal, you are building mental strength. Now there's something I want you to understand about commitment. It's not a one-time decision. It's not something you decide today and then forget about tomorrow. Commitment is a lifelong practice. It's a decision you make every day to keep going, to keep showing up, to stay disciplined. It's about making a promise to yourself that no matter how hard it gets, you will not quit. And this kind of commitment, when it's practiced consistently, can take you farther than you ever thought possible. But here's the catch. Your commitment is going to be tested. There will be days when you feel like giving up. There will be days when you want to take the easy route. And it's in those moments that you have to dig deep. You have to remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the bigger picture and stay focused. Your future self is counting on you to show up to the life you want to create. The goals you want to achieve are all on the other side of this commitment. And every time you push through, every time you eliminate weakness and choose commitment, you are one step closer to that future. Building this kind of strength takes time. You won't wake up tomorrow and suddenly feel strong or disciplined. It's something you have to practice. Every small decision you make, every time you choose commitment over convenience, is a step toward building the life you want. And it's important to remember that setbacks are part of the process. You will stumble, you will fail, but each time you get back up and keep going, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than your weaknesses. And that, my friends, is how you build true, lasting strength. The path to success is not always easy, and it's certainly not always fast. But the key to overcoming weakness and staying committed is to focus on the long term. It's about developing the mental and emotional strength to stay the course, even when things get tough. And that requires patience, self-belief, and an unwavering commitment to doing what needs to be done, day in and day out. So if you're ready to eliminate weakness and stay committed, I want you to think about one thing. What are you willing to give up in order to move forward? Are you willing to give up the comfort of procrastination? Are you willing to give up the weakness of doubt and fear? Are you willing to give up anything that's holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself? Because if you are, then I promise you, there is nothing that can stop you. It's time to train yourself to stay committed, to build strength, to eliminate every weakness that stands between you and your success. It's time to make the choice to show up every day and do the work, no matter how hard it is. It's time to stay the course, even when the road gets rough. Because in the end, the commitment you make today will lead you to the success you desire tomorrow. Stay strong, stay committed, and never stop moving forward. Number 9, overcome resistance and force yourself to keep moving. Overcoming resistance and forcing yourself to keep moving is one of the toughest challenges in any pursuit. But it's also one of the most crucial if you want to succeed. Resistance is real, and it comes in many forms. It's that feeling of hesitation that tells you to stop, that little voice in your head that says, "This is too hard," or "I need a break," or "Maybe tomorrow would be better." We all face it. We all feel it. But the key is not to give in. The key is to push through it, to force yourself to keep moving when everything inside of you wants to stop. Resistance is not something that can be avoided. In fact, it's a natural part of any challenging endeavor. Whether you're trying to build a business, improve your fitness, or achieve any goal, resistance will show up. It's in those moments of resistance that your true character is revealed. It's easy to keep going when everything is going smoothly, when you're feeling motivated and excited. But true growth happens when you are pushed to your limits. When things get difficult, when you feel like quitting, that's when you have to dig deeper. That's when you must force yourself to keep moving. To break through resistance, you need to understand where it comes from. Resistance is not an external force. It's internal. It's the part of you that's scared of failure, the part of you that's afraid of doing something new, the part of you that wants to stay in the comfort zone. It's the fear of discomfort, fear of making mistakes, fear of looking foolish, or fear of not succeeding. Resistance is rooted in all of these fears. But what you need to realize is that resistance is just a feeling. And feelings are not fact. Feelings are temporary. But your goals and dreams are permanent. Resistance may try to stop you, but if you push through it, you'll find that it fades away. You can't let resistance control you. The longer you sit in it, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle that grows the more you feed it. If you let it win even once, it's easier for it to win again. That's why you have to break through resistance every single time. It's not a one-time thing. It's something you have to face every time you set out to achieve something great. And every time you push through it, you build resilience. You build strength. You build a mental toughness that will carry you through every challenge in the future. The most important thing to remember when you're facing resistance is to keep moving. You don't need to feel like you're making huge progress, but you do need to make some progress. Movement, no matter how small, is still movement. It's the act of pushing through, of continuing to take steps forward, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. So often, people stop when they don't see immediate results. But the truth is, every small action is adding up, even if you can't see it yet. Every time you keep moving, you're getting closer to your goal. One of the biggest obstacles to overcoming resistance is the belief that you have to feel motivated all the time. We live in a world where people often rely on motivation to get things done. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel motivated, and other days you won't. Motivation doesn't always show up when you need it most. That's why you can't rely on it. Instead, you have to rely on discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades away. When resistance hits, it often brings with it feelings of doubt and uncertainty. You start to question whether you're on the right path, whether you're capable, whether you'll ever achieve your goal. These feelings are a natural part of the process, but they are also lies. Doubt is just fear in disguise, and fear is what holds most people back from reaching their full potential. But if you allow fear to control you, if you give in to resistance, you'll never achieve what you're capable of. The key is to recognize that these feelings are just obstacles. And like all obstacles, they can be overcome. To overcome resistance, you have to make the decision to keep moving, even when it's uncomfortable. When you feel resistance, that's the moment you need to push harder, not stop. The act of pushing through resistance is a habit that gets easier over time. The more you do it, the stronger your mind becomes. The more you practice overcoming resistance, the more confident you'll become in your ability to face challenge. It's in these moments of resistance that your growth happens. So don't shy away from them. Embrace them, push through them, and keep moving forward. Another important aspect of overcoming resistance is creating momentum. Momentum is what propels you forward when you feel like quitting. It's the force that keeps you moving even when you're tired or discouraged. To create momentum, you have to start. You have to take that first step, even if you don't feel like it. Once you start moving, even if it's just a small action, the momentum begins to build. And the more momentum you build, the harder it becomes for resistance to stop you. Momentum makes it easier to keep going. And over time, it becomes self-sustaining. The key to building momentum is consistency. You need to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. You need to build the habit of moving forward, no matter what. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something every day. When you make progress, even if it's small, you're building momentum. And once that momentum is in place, it becomes much harder to stop. Resistance doesn't stand a chance when you've built momentum. Let me also remind you that resistance is not always a bad thing. Sometimes, resistance is a signal that you're on the right path. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. The greater the resistance, the greater the potential for growth. So when you feel that resistance, don't back down. Don't shy away from it. Instead, lean into it. Use it as fuel to keep moving forward. The bigger the resistance, the greater the reward on the other side. You see, success isn't about never feeling resistance. It's about learning how to push through it. It's about developing the mental strength to keep going. Even when things get tough, you have to embrace the discomfort, embrace the struggle, and push through. The more you push, the stronger you become. And each time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you can overcome anything. Number 10, take control of your time and work with full focus. Taking control of your time and working with full focus is not just about managing the hours in your day. It's about managing your energy, your attention, and your decisions. Time is the most valuable resource you have, but it is also the one that slips away most easily if you don't guard it. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get distracted and lose sight of what truly matters. The key to reaching your highest potential is learning how to take control of your time, how to block out the distractions, and how to work with purpose and full focus. The first step to taking control of your time is to understand that time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day, and once they are gone, they're gone forever. The moment you realize how precious time is, you start to respect it. Every minute counts. Every hour counts. And how you spend your time directly impacts the results you see in your life. If you're wasting time, you're wasting your future. If you're not intentional with how you use your time, you'll find that days, weeks, and even years slip away without accomplishing what you set out to do. To take control of your time, you must first eliminate all the distractions that are pulling you away from your goals. Distractions are the silent killers of progress. They can appear in many forms. Social media, emails, people talking, your own scattered thoughts. Distractions come in all shapes and sizes, and they are designed to take your focus away from the task at hand. The more you allow distractions to enter your life, the more you lose control of your time. If you want to focus and work with purpose, you need to get serious about removing the distractions. Create an environment that is conducive to concentration. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and set boundaries with people around you. It's your time, and you need to protect it. Next, you need to understand the power of focus. Focus is the ability to direct your attention to one task and keep it there, undistracted, until the job is done. In today's world, multitasking is often celebrated, but the truth is, multitasking is inefficient. When you try to do multiple things at once, you're spreading yourself too thin, and none of those tasks are getting your full attention. Instead of multitasking, focus on one thing at a time. When you focus on a single task, you can dive deeper into it, perform better, and complete it faster. Mastering the art of focus will be the key to knocking your productivity. One of the biggest obstacles to focus is the temptation to jump between tasks. We've all been there. You start on one thing, and then something else catches your eye. And before you know it, you've switched gears. This constant switching between tasks is a productivity killer. It's called context switching, and it's exhausting. When you jump from task to task, it takes your brain time to adjust and refocus. So instead of being productive, you end up wasting time and energy. The solution is simple. Commit to one task at a time. Stay focused, finish what you started, and then move on to the next task. By doing this, you'll accomplish more in less time. Another important aspect of working with full focus is planning your day in advance. Successful people don't wait for motivation to strike. In the moment, they plan ahead, they schedule their time, and commit to their agenda. When you plan your day, you're taking control of your time. You're being intentional about how you use it. A well-planned day gives you a sense of direction, and it minimizes the chances of distractions pulling you off course. Start each day with a clear list of priorities. Know exactly what you need to accomplish and when you need to do it. The more you plan, the more control you'll have over your time. The next step is managing your energy. Time management is about more than just setting a schedule. It's about knowing when your energy is highest and using that time wisely. You're most productive when your energy is at its peak. And for most people, that happens in the morning. That's when your mind is fresh, your body is energized, and you have the most focus. Use this time to tackle your most important tasks. If you waste your peak hours on less important tasks or distractions, you're wasting the most valuable part of your day. Save your easier tasks for when your energy starts to dip in the afternoon or evening. It's also important to take care of your body and mind to maintain your focus. Physical health directly impacts your mental focus. If you're not sleeping well, eating poorly, or neglecting exercise, you'll find it much harder to concentrate. When you're tired, your mind starts to wander. When you're unhealthy, you feel sluggish and unmotivated. On the other hand, when you're in good physical health, your mind is sharp and your energy levels are higher. This allows you to stay focused and work at your best. Prioritize your health by eating well, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. Your body is the foundation of your productivity, and when you take care of it, you're setting yourself up for success. But time control isn't just about managing your hours. It's about creating momentum. Momentum is what keeps you moving, even when you don't feel like work. Once you start taking control of your time and focusing on your tasks, you'll start building momentum. Momentum is powerful. It makes things easier, and it keeps you going when the going gets tough. The key to momentum is consistency. If you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you'll start to see progress. This progress fuels motivation, and motivation helps you stay focused. One of the biggest barriers to focus is procrastination. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. It's the act of putting off what you need to do, even though you know you should do it. Procrastination often happens when we feel overwhelmed by a task or unsure of where to start. It's also common when we're waiting for the right moment to begin. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment to start. The best time to start is now. Overcome procrastination by breaking big tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Once you take that first step, the rest becomes easier. Now let's talk about saying no. Learning to say no is a vital part of taking control of your time. People often feel guilty when they decline requests or invitations. But the reality is that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Saying yes to a distraction means saying no to your goals. You have to protect your time. You can't afford to be constantly pulled in every direction. Be selective with how you spend your time. Prioritize your goals and be prepared to say no when something doesn't align with your objective. The final piece of the puzzle is to make time for rest and recovery. While it's important to take control of your time and focus on your work, it's just as important to rest. You can't work at full capacity all the time. If you don't take breaks, your focus will start to fade, and your productivity will decrease. Schedule time for rest. Take breaks throughout the day to recharge. Spend time with family, relax, and do things that help you unwind. By balancing work and rest, you'll ensure that you have the energy and focus you need to keep going. Taking control of your time and working with full focus is the foundation for success. When you eliminate distractions, master your focus, plan your days, and manage your energy, you create the perfect environment for growth. But it all starts with one simple decision: the decision to take control. Time is your most valuable resource. How you spend it will determine the quality of your life and the success you achieve. It's time to stop letting distractions control you and start taking control of your time. When you do that, there's no limit to what you can achieve.